Hello, everybody. This is Peter Palmiotti of Human Art Studio, and this is Has Artcast #1. And if you've been following along, you know I've done this before. I have 5 episodes up on my YouTube, but I figured I do want to do a drawing series, hence playlist for my YouTube. But I am going to do it under a different name. This will be specifically me working on creations that eventually I'll publish. So hence the Has Artcast. Yeah, if you hear noise in the background, because we have a storm that's brewing, and there's already been thunder, and kind of have the window open for air, so you might hear the neighbors, but so it goes. Another thing I wanted to mention just really quickly is I'll be interviewed tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, but you can catch it anytime after. On my other channel, Creator Room Comics, I'll be interviewed by Chuck Palmiotti, and this will be the first in a series on my other channel, spotlighting creators, and he's going to be interviewing me, and hopefully I won't have any internet issues with this storm, but yeah, fingers crossed, all goes well. I was hoping to collect some visuals, but I just get a crazy schedule, a lot of things I'm trying to be on top of. But this is important to me because it's going to be a backup story. 6 pages, unless I decide otherwise, but it's going to be a backup to a comic called Arena. Now, Arena is something that was done long ago, and I even paid out of pocket to have it lettered and colored, and going to finally publish it this year. But because it's only a 20-page story, I didn't want to do a 24-page comic. I want all my comics to be 32 pages or more. So I decided I'm going to write pencil and ink, my own backup story, you know, going off the success of my anthology story for the V100s. I figured, hey, I could do a comic story now. Let me do the full writing and drawing, and I'll do it as my Has Artcast. So if you're already seeing the title of this episode, Who Shall Feed the Beasts? That is going to be the title of the backup story. And what I've created here already, and this, just some random sketches, was something I did. Got cat hair everywhere. Okay. Was something I did during my studio synergy with Scott Serquin. So that's where I started working on it. This won't be a long episode today, but if anybody's watching wants to ask me a question, then please do. So yeah, this as I can do these art Artcast episodes. This would be me putting in time. I might decide to put in time on the story and then just sort of do an Artcast as an update. But I figured I'd go a little bit today. And it's getting dark outside, and it seems like this storm is going to be, it's been a while since we had one. The weather has been good, so I guess we were due. Man. Yes. Well, the great thing about Kentucky is it's only temporary. Storms don't last too long. Worst case scenario, a couple of days, but I think this is just passing by today, tonight. So it is what it is. Okay, a little bit about what this story will be about. Okay, so these sketches, well, I was trying to work it out, but it's a couple. It's a human couple. Since the whole arena thing is about mostly aliens fighting off against aliens, I figured it would be kind of funny, humorous. Now, this is supposed to be a girl. It's like my women aren't as good, and I was just trying to come up with a look. So I'll probably definitely change a lot of what you see there. But I think I like the guy. Maybe go with black hair or something to that extent. But yeah, to have like a maybe a young human couple, and they wind up with a job at this arena to feed not only the participants fighting and those, held prisoner on this in this arena, but to feed all the people coming to watch the events as they happen. So the story about who shall feed the bees will be them, maybe living their lives in on Earth, trying to just find work, maybe. I haven't worked out a lot of details, obviously, but I want to make it sort of like they come across this job position. They're both interested in cooking and the fine arts of cooking, and they come across this job and they think they struck gold, and then essentially at the end of the story they find out that they're working for this arena, and there'll be as much prisoners as the participants fighting. So that's essentially it. Yeah, and I don't mind giving any of that away. Not everybody's gonna watch this. That will hopefully be picking up the book when I release it. But that's the gist of it. So I guess I'll doodle for a little bit. Looks like my internet's pretty good. And I have a couple of people watching, but no questions. So yeah, so let's say just come up with a few details for them. Mid to young 20s. Will work. because I kind of want them a little green. I'm hearing all sorts of things from outside, which I'm pretty sure you're not hearing, but yeah, storms are fun. Yeah, just a human couple living on Earth. And this is, you could probably see this better without that way. This is how stories develop in my head, just like a couple of simple, like these will be the main characters, and the situation is them just trying to get by, just trying to have an apartment, pay for it, and have a life, and pay for that, and it's the struggle of the average person on this world, wherever you're living. Oh, one thing I was thinking of, like, should I make them ethnic? Should I make them different? And yeah, so I have some thoughts on that. And maybe it will come up in the story, or maybe it will come up in a later story. So, okay, so Arena will be definitely a one shot, possibly kind of like DC Comics Presents or Marvel Comics. What was it? Marvel Preview, where they had both professionals working on stories as well as newcomers, people that never worked for the company before. I'm kind of thinking of taking the concept of Arena with each issue and just developing characters and the whole scenario about behind why there is an arena and why are aliens fighting aliens, and so on and so forth. It's kind of like Planet Hulk, or what you saw in Thor Ragnarok. Just that concept expanded upon. And so yeah, so maybe I can make him French. Yeah. And well, the French are supposed to be a hot-tempered people. I'm trying to think, like, well, anything, like, I don't know. It's funny how, like, they say French people are a certain way, or Italian people are a certain way, or Irish, or black, or yada yada yada. But really, it's like you can find all sorts of people, no matter what their race or ethnicity. I can't. I got so much on my brain. So yeah, you can make her. What would be fun? And there's a reason why he's French, which I'll get into in a second. I'm thinking Irish. I'm thinking Irish for her. So yeah. So with the guy, thinking it just might be fun to have his father is a famous chef. So he's kind of, he kind of wants to be like his dad, but he has his own thoughts on how food should be cooked and prepared, and he's a young buck, and he's got a bit of attitude. And then his wife, is hot tempered. So that should lead to some clashes, depending on what I'm able to fit into the story. I mean, usually having a lot of ideas behind the character and the situation is good, and just you fit in what you can or what fits, and you can always spill over into the next story next time we see these characters. Like for the first issue of Arena, there'll be a backup story, but maybe they'll be included in the second issue story. So the whole journey will be they're broke. They sort of maybe living in we could say they're living in France. There goes some thunder. Whatever a popular food district of France is, which I would probably have to look up. So by that standard, then because of they're living where they're living, there's a high cost to it. And they're not having a lot of success getting work. And so probably what develops is late one night. That's a good, just off the top of my head, I could change it later. Irish girl name. I can't. Okay, I'm not going to start looking up things, Googling. Well, let's just call her Red for the moment. That's not going to be her name, but so late one night. And his name is also not going to be his name. Pierre, I guess. Late one night, Pierre loses yet another waiter job. On his quest. On his quest to become a top chef. So late one night, Pierre loses yet another waiter job on his quest to become top chef. There's a lot we can do with that, and because his wife is hot-tempered, there's definitely a lot of arguments. So Red finds a job listing online. You okay, Pop-Up? Pop-Up's hanging out with me. So yeah, this is me coming up with ideas, but also kind of sort of writing it. I definitely, all I need is a loose idea of a story. You know, essentially is sort of like a Stan Lee script, to really just then put the pieces together of my puzzle and write a good story out of that. So late night, one night, they're fighting over Pierre losing yet another waiter job, you know, like a basic entry-level job, when he has, you know, these thoughts of becoming a top chef. And Red and him argue. Finally, in a huff, she just goes online, and through sheer luck or whatever, she finds a job listing, and that takes them to, you know, the arena. The arena is looking for top chefs. And they have a job. So it's just a matter of making that interesting, both visually and story-wise, and how far into them being in that actual position of getting a job, or, you know, I'll figure that out as I go. As I just sort of, what I like to do is write lines of dialogue, maybe like this late night scene will be a crucial scene, and that will expand and dictate, really how much space I have, and where I am to lead the story. So it should be interesting. So yeah, I don't want to make this too long, but so that's what I wrote. My handwriting is not the clearest, but yeah, like this guy, random sketch might feature in the story. I don't know. This guy might be a background character, and this guy is just there's nothing special about him. But that will be the couple. Although I'll play with it a lot more, knowing that he's French and she's Irish, and come up with better names. Usually, what I do like with names is like either I think about it for a while and come up with something out of the top of my head, or I go online and just look around randomly, and I could come across some cool names, or I specifically go to like there's like name sites, like name your kid or name your dog or whatever. So possibly I can land on to something, because Pierre and Red, that's like, yeah, there's very French, very Irish, and I sort of want to capture the characters in their name, but not to blatantly use what's been used a billion times. But I think that I got the start in the makings of something that, hey, perhaps I should turn it that way. Yeah, you can't read what I wrote anyway. No, that's upside down. That's right. But yeah, this is me playing around, and I'll expand on it. What I'll probably do is before I come back with another episode is to nail the title characters down a bit, and the parameters of the story, which will take me a little thinking, like exactly, what are the 6 pages going to cover, sort of like in their timeline. I mean, it could be the first arc of their story where, they are given this opportunity, and they get a flight off of Earth towards whatever this planet is named, and leave it there. So we'll see, however it develops. But creating stories is something I've always done in my head. So I don't see that as a problem. It's, if you didn't know, the D100 anthology story was the first thing I wrote, penciled and inked and finished. I've written plenty of things and drawn plenty of pages, but this was actually the first, as far as big achievements go. It's like the first comic story I finished, even if it was only 4 pages, and this will be my second one. And then also I have it's kind of different because I'll be collaborating with somebody else, but I got some client work. I'll be working with this other guy who'll be writing, and I'll be doing the art for another 6-page story. And that might be actually 6-page chapters of a couple of chapters. We'll see. If he gives me the green light, I'll talk about it. But otherwise, I'm just working on it on the side. I got lots of things. I'm doing some inking for clients. Yeah. I'm trying to work on my retro, and yeah, as far as the ARTCAST going forward, I'll be showcasing a lot of my different projects as we go, but I'm going to keep it to this story, Who Shall Feed the Beasts, for the foreseeable future, and maybe just mention other things as they develop along the way. So hope you like this kind of show. Give me a like, leave me a comment, tell me your thoughts. It'll be a lot more visually satisfying for future episodes. This one I've done doing live. I wish I could. Yeah, there's so many things I wish I could do on YouTube, but for the meantime, this is what you get. Hope you love it. I like working on comics. I've been doing this for 27 years, and now I just want to finally make a lot of my own. So that's what's in store. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're watching this beforehand or if you catch this later, I'll be interviewed by Chuck Mignot on my other channel, Create Urban Comics. And I'll post links and everything as I can, most likely tomorrow. And take care, everyone. See you again next time. All right. Peace.